I'm Tammy Goodyear, and along with my husband Ken, we operate Moss Creek Farm in Stewart, Virginia. We're a small operation and we raise a few goats, sheep, hogs, and a little bit of poultry. I like raising sheep and goats. Well, the sheep especially. I grew up raising sheep, and so I feel comfortable and had the knowledge there to be successful with them. The goats, I have enjoyed raising those because goats have been a really popular enterprise. A lot of people interested in getting a few goats for the farm. We started out with goats, and we have kept up to about 75 does and would kid them out in January and February. We have diversified a bit. We have gotten some sheep. Being a small farm, we look to maximize our profit. So we have gotten into some of the rarer breeds of sheep. We currently have the Leicester Long Wool and the Old English Southdown on our farm, and we do have a good market for them. And the wool from the Leicester Long Wools, it's a spinner's dream. So we have no problem selling their fleeces. For the most part, all of our livestock is marketed here directly from the farm. With the goats, we've been very fortunate that we have a good Hispanic population here that does like to buy the goats, and they take them off the farm to slaughter. My sheep, so far, we have only been selling those for breeding stock, and there again, we have had luck in marketing them from the farm. It's rare that we ever have to go to the stock market because over the years and with the livestock we carry, word has gotten out, and we've been able to pretty much sell here from the farm. We've also utilized different tools to market our livestock. We have a website, of course, and we also utilize Facebook for our farm. It has certainly turned out to be a benefit, and I would strongly encourage any small farm to look at using these other methods to promote and market your products. And I like meeting new people coming in. Some of my customers are people that move into the area and are looking for small farm enterprises. So there's a niche there that I've been able to fill using my sheep and goats from our farm. We do have specialty products. We milk some of our dairy goats, and we make goat's milk soaps and lotions and sell them, and that has really taken off better than I had ever anticipated. And also with the wool, I have been taking fiber classes and making felt, like scarves, shawls, hats, that sort of thing with some of the wool. Now, of course, having about 18 head of sheep, I can't use all of my wool, but a lot of hand spinners, there's a ready market there. So yes, we do have some value-added products, and they have proved to be good for our bottom line here on the farm. Times have really changed as far as agriculture goes. I'm seeing more and more women involved in the farming operation. They've always been involved, but a lot of times they were the ones doing the bookkeeping. But now we're seeing more women manage farms and take care of all aspects of farming, to breeding, feeding, planting crops, harvesting crops. It's really amazing, and I think for the most part, the women that I've dealt with who are actively involved in farming are well versed in their trade and are making a very positive contribution to Virginia agriculture. It's a local product that local people can buy, and we are meeting some of the demand for these products here in Patrick County.
My name is James Flowers. I raise bees. I live at Stewart, Virginia. I've had bees for over 40 years. My father-in-law had one hive, and when they sting, they got to hurting him real bad, and he wanted to give them to me, and so that's how I got started. They sting me, but they don't affect me none.
Yeah. Well, I'm Jason McGee. I'm with the Department of Forestry. I'm a forest technician. Here I work in the Piedmont work area. My main focus is in Patrick and Henry County. A lot of what I do is checking these logging jobs. We have, it varies from year to year, but 100 to 150 jobs in each county, most every year. So that's a lot of work to go around and look at those. What I'm looking for is erosion problems. So we're trying to keep the soil in place for the future generations. I feel it's an important job.
Well, my name is Kevin Keith, and I work for the Virginia Department of Forestry. I'm the Senior Area Forester for Patrick, Henry, and Franklin counties, and my main job is basically working with private landowners, trying to help them make wise decisions with their property. Normally in Patrick, about 300 or 400 acres a year, we actually go in and reforest it with an improved pine species that can grow really fast and have something for the landowner to harvest in 20 years. And another part of my job is to go in, and we have various cost share programs that help landowners with this, and so I help get them signed up through various state or federal programs to do this. And these trees right here were only planted 2 years ago, and we actually prescribed burned this tract, had a really hot fire, and I hope this year we're actually going to have a backpack crew come in and with some herbicides, and they'll go in and they will spray the remaining hardwoods that have made it through the burn, and this tract will be ready to go for the next 20 years. Last tract we looked at some 2-year-old seedlings. Well, in 20 years from that, this is what it's going to look like. And if you've done the things we recommended to keep them healthy by controlling the hardwood competition, you can have a tract this nice in 22 years. This tract of land was originally harvested around the same time as that nice thin loblolly pine plantation we looked at. We're not supposed to put a value on timberland, but just say that thin stand before thinning was worth close to $1,000 an acre at 22 years old. With this stand of naturally growing Virginia pine is the same age, and it's only worth a couple $100s per acre. So that really shows you the difference of trying to intensely manage your property, because you get a lot more value out of it based on that. And not sure what this landowner is going to do with this property. He may let it come up naturally again. If he does, it's obviously going to grow trees, kind of like what we have here. You'll see all the hardwood sprout, so it's going to come back, get a mix of hardwood and some natural pine will come back up in it. But really, to reach saw timber size, you're going to have to let this tract go another 40 to 50 years. And so I would advise, at least on areas that had solid pine, to go back and plant loblolly pine back on these areas. Try to get a really quick rotation that'll produce more income than what this stand produced this time. Luckily for landowners in this area, we have a lot of markets for our wood products. Most of our markets in this area are for hardwood. We have several hardwood sawmills in Patrick. So basically our large saw timber would go to those mills to produce boards for lumber, for flooring, for furniture. We have a large pine sawmill next to Martinsville, which was like this Virginia pine would go to. It goes for lumber for various projects outdoors, like decks and flooring and stuff. Our low-grade hardwood, or maple, sourwood, hickory, would go to a pallet mill in Kreitz, basically produce pallet parts. And then our very low-grade hardwood would go to chips. We go to our local OSB mills, produce OSB board, or possibly go to the paper mill in Covington. So luckily in this area, we do have a lot of markets for our wood products, and so landowners have a lot of options on how they can market those.